I do love my royalty-free music, but I gotta tell you, it's stuck in my head, hardcore, sticky stuck. Welcome, welcome, and then one more hearty welcome to Bangs and Botox, Women Who Wear Aging Well, brought to you by Dean-Epps, that's me, author of Bangs and Botox, the humor book. I'm a comedian, teacher, writer, Mimi and mama to the second power, and a woman who takes an improv approach to life, which is yes and even when I encounter those big NOs from the universe and the NO-ers I've encountered on my journey. I think that's how my books, columns, and careers, and well, yes, even my children came to be. This show is for women who've seen some things, heard some things, said some things, and done some things. And it's all contributed to how well you're wearing aging. You know what? It all looks so good on you, may I say. And to my XY chromosome friends, the welcome mat is always out for you too. Bangs and Botox is for women and anyone who loves women or a woman. It's pretty inclusive that way. And while there will be plenty of humor in these episodes, the flip side of humor are those serious moments. If this all lands the way I want it to, authentically, then together we'll walk through a lot of emotions depending upon how the topics land for you. It's a real slice of wonderful to be here with you today. In my inaugural episode, Are You a Chicken with a Spring? I covered the format of the show, which includes storytelling, sit down, stand up comedy bits. That's what I call them. Thought provoking, fingers crossed, essential questions, fodder for inspiration. And you know what? I'm going to slip in a few motivational snippets if I can. I also talked about making your own opportunities and not having to ask for permission to go get it, whatever it is. Career desires, travel dreams, creative aspirations. Today's episode is a little something I call powered by punchlines and point of view. Oh, I do love alliteration. There's a big dollop of storytelling that ties it all together. I don't know about you, but I've always used storytelling and humor as my coping mechanisms. It isn't to say that I don't use these processing tools when I'm celebrating my journey, but I'm going to focus on how I channel my stress and other big, huge emotions I want to feel, receive, process, but then let them go right out the door. For me, I end up with better results when I channel my angst, sadness, grief, and life event detritus into something I create or something I process in the moment with humor. I'm all about giving you examples, so I'll get to that real soon here. After all, I can only lie prone on my comfy, cozy bed, yodeling out, why me? For so long when even the dogs get up and leave. Over the years, I've kind of figured out how I can somewhat leave myself and gain perspective on my emotions while where I do something called alchemizing negative energy into emotional gold. I know, sounds like it's hard, but it becomes something that is my first go-to. Before we launch off the high dive into today's episode, I'm happy to report my podcast is now being distributed by a number of providers, all listed on my website. And my website is DeanEppsWriting.com. That's where you'll surf on over to the Bangs and Botox podcast tab. These channels are all absolutely free. It's not a subscription only podcast. It's for the masses. You won't want to miss any episodes because this is likely to be one of those one topic builds upon another and another kind of dealio. So I don't want you to have FOMO. FOMO. I think that should be a topic for a future episode. Yep. Also, drop me a line in the comment section. All right, let's do this. Storytelling and specifically humor as a coping mechanism is a combo power pack for me that goes directly to aging well. My version of aging well means I'm trying really hard not to get stuck in life. I don't want to sit down in life. I'm out there living it off the mat. So it gets messy, real messy a lot of times. There are complications, conflicts, losses, misconnections, and just challenges, big challenges. Like right now, dear listeners, I got to tell you, I'm in the throes of big time grief, having just lost my mother. I'm feeling such an array of emotions and they overlap, they zigzag and catch me unaware, slamming me hardcore. And when that happens, I feel like I've been body checked by a big burly hockey player. It takes my breath away. And funny enough, when I'm hit with big emotions like grief, what's the first thing I forget to do? You're ahead of me, aren't you? Yep, breathe. Grief is the program that runs in the background even as I sleep. Can you relate? Are you going through something like this now? I bet you already have, for sure. It's the human experience. So that's where humor and storytelling come into play. Alchemizing my larger than a room or body can contain emotions into something new acts as a pressure release valve for me that I can always access. I use my voice, my truth, my reality, and my experience to bring the funny or just tell the story so I can stay present, feel what I'm feeling, but then move through it. This all just sort of happens and I don't question it. I'm grateful that I've got these coping mechanisms. My comedy is always based on either my personal experiences or observations. You know how you feel as though somebody is listening to the conversation you're having with your friend in the coffee shop, but you can't really seem to identify who that person would be? Yep, that would be me. Oh, not in a creepy way. I'm just interested. Let's face it, you don't need to make up a lot in life creativity wise because real life provides so much fodder. I've got a quick short story to launch us off that I call Peace Earrings, and it just happened. There I was, minding my own business, enjoying my number of wonderful conversations with the women in my dance class as we waited for the previous class to end, so then we could go into the fitness room and shake it all around. Suddenly, a woman fast walked right up to me on the diagonal, demanding to know if I was the teacher. Always one to think optimistically, well, initially at least. I figured she was interested in attending my class for the first time. So I cheerily said, I sure am. Are you going to come in and dance with us today? Oh boy, was that not what she was planning on doing that day or any other day? Where is my spidey sense when I need it? Because that's when she unleashed her wrath, and I'll tell you, it was something else to behold. She said my class was rude because they were talking too loudly and why wasn't I doing something about it? Blah, blah, blah. At first I listened. I was nodding my head and letting her know that I would do my best to rectify the situation. But then she took in more oxygen. She had no trouble breathing, amping herself up, and she turned it up to 11. She got closer to me and unleashed a nice little cuss word loudly saying, Your class is too effing loud. You know, irony abounds everywhere in life. Whoa, lady. You know who's too loud, don't you? You. That's when I noticed her peace sign earrings swinging wildly as she accentuated each word with her angry staccato body movement. Without thinking, I couldn't help but say, keep wearing those peace earrings. They seem to really be working for you. And I turned on my heel and made my way into the dance room where my students and positive vibes were all waiting for me. From amusing to poignant and all points in between, my personal array of expression is vast, and it all helps me to keep moving forward. When my daughter was little, we used to read her a story every night unless she requested an original one. And that's when she would say, Tell me a story with your lips. That's how family stories like Chrissy the Wonder Dog came to be. Chrissy was a testament to resilience. Before we adopted her, she would survive the physical pain of getting hit by a car and the mental pain that was abandonment when she was returned to the shelter. Twice. Our family was truly the third time is the charm when we met her. Mind you, we went to the shelter to adopt a cute, wiggly puppy, and what we came home with was an older terrier mixed dog with major issues who looked a little rough around the edges. Initially, she was so nervous, her main form of expression was rolling over and peeing. But we looked in those dark, hopeful eyes, and We were in, all the way in. We loved her immediately, and she lived a long and safe life. I would tell my daughter about all the adventures our brave Chrissy was going on every day. Being someone who has tra la 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 down the timeline of fair peace. I've gathered up hundreds of these stories in various emotional flavors and formats that reside in my content vault, I'll call it. And this brings us to a piece I wrote called White Wedding Couch. This is dedicated to my mom. My childhood ran the gamut of influences, be it the eclectic mix of music I listened to from home because my parents had a Three Dog Night, Johnny Cash, and the Tijuana Brass Band, or just plain household happenings themselves. All eclectic. There's no doubt I was provided with plenty of memorable experiences when variety and hilarity made daily appearances, often at the same time. Evidence of this assertion lies in the fact that I was raised with a unique third child by virtue of maintenance in our two-child home, the white wedding couch. Wedding because I love alliteration, as I mentioned earlier, and I'm bound to mention lewds, and symbolism. This Chesterfield required more care than the average toddler. When we were growing up, money was an issue, as it so often is, forcing my mother to make do. We all know that anything white is fairly impractical when you have a family, but her mind was set on a white 1950s cocktail era divan that was divine. It was also elegant, pristine, and mostly off limits for sitting or lounging. Every so often we were allowed to perch on it, mostly for photo opportunities. As the years went on, much like people, the couch lost its looks, surrendering its status as the most attractive specimen in the room. It needed sprucing up, but getting it professionally cleaned, it was out of the question. Not only were there logistical considerations, but yes, once again, the specter of financial challenge loomed. So many bills to pay, so much furniture to maintain, so many creative options. The latter was a catalyst for a brainstorming session that brought about my mom's legendary idea that would be part of her weekly household chores until the Davenport was dragged across the entryway to the pearly gates of farewell furnishings. She would touch up the couch with white shoe polish, that heady smelling potion that would now be pulling double duty in its preservation of my white tennis shoes and the aforementioned couch. Now, the biggest challenge in this scenario, and there were many, was that white shoe polish dries surprisingly slowly when utilized to cover several cubic yards of slick material couch. It resulted in my brother and me possessing the buffest of thighs at a very young age due to extensive periods hovering above the couch. We also possessed the dubious distinction of being the fastest almost sitter downers in our neighborhood as we asked, is the couch dry? Is the couch dry? Oh, the couch is dry? Okay, all right. Okay, couch is dry. These were not the usual childhood concerns, but then our house was anything but usual. After a time, we gave up sitting on the couch at all, choosing the floor for its consistent state of dehydration. In fact, I can remember automatically plunking down on the floor at friends' houses next to their furniture, and they would look at me rather oddly, asking, "Wouldn't you like to sit on the sofa?" It was all I could do not to issue my return query of, "Oh, is it dry?" There's a picture of me. It's pretty sweet. I'm about 5 years old, but it memorializes my patented white couch perch. I'm in a beautiful silvery blue dress. My thick, dark bangs are cut short and, well, somewhat crookedly. My big brown eyes shyly looking at the camera, and my mouth is twitched into a tentative smile. But I look concerned. Even yea, these many years later, what I remember from that day is that the couch was as damp as a lounge chair seat cushion after a pool party, and I couldn't wait to go sit anywhere else. Eventually, the white couch was more shoe polish than couch. It had more cracks than a bad luck mirror. One day, it just disappeared without fanfare. probably to grace the local dump. I still think about what that couch meant to my mom, though. The fact that even amidst the demanding circumstances that constitute family life, and especially being a time challenged working woman in the 60s, 1960s, not 1860s, in case any of you were thinking I was that old, not possible, raising a family on a tight budget, my mom wanted us to have nice things. That was her love language. While my mom isn't on this plane of existence anymore, I'm learning, maybe relearning, that losing someone I love, it doesn't mean I've lost that love. It just means it's more important now than ever for me to share the stories, use my coping mechanisms, stay connected, fight the urge to disassociate and go away and do what I need to do for my self-care. So that means tomorrow I'm going to purchase peace sign earrings. Uh, well, as I wind down this second episode of Bangs and Botox, I'm going to debut a segment I've cleverly titled The Somethings. In this segment, I'll offer up something I'm watching, something I'm reading, something I'm eating, something I'm buying, and something I'm doing. In some cases, it'll be multiple somethings. Feel free to drop some of your somethings into the comment box. Okay, so something I'm watching. I watched this excellent movie called The Intern on Netflix with Robert De Niro and Anne Hathaway. It's far from new. It came out in 2015, but it is phenomenal. It's got great themes, and they have to do with aging and the fact that we're still relevant. Marvelous. Next, TV wise, I've been busy putting my streaming dollars to good use over here. I finished up Poker Face. It's on Peacock. I know. Wow. Where are can I get some sort of sponsorships here? Anyway, also watch Death Valley, a British detective show on BritBox. Pairs up a retired actor and a younger detective. Love these aging well themes. Yes, I did get through The Bear on Hulu and they delivered this season. I am telling you, my Lord, if there aren't a slew of Emmys coming out of this season, I will be stunned. And then my guilty pleasure, I almost wasn't going to tell you about this, but I got to because we're going to be authentic here. Um, Watch season 3 of Farmer Wants a Wife. I don't even think the theme is necessarily in line with how I feel about things in life, and it's not my demographic. Oh, but boy, howdy, did I enjoy watching it. And then something I'm reading. I just finished Richard Osman's latest book, We Solve Murders. It was delicious. Speaking of delicious, something I'm eating. I decided I need to get more veg in my diet, so I made a vat of spinach dip. But you know what? Mental note to me. Remember me, how much my body and I don't shiga-diga mayonnaise. I'm also making it my personal goal to purchase and chomp down every brand of ginger snap cookie I can find this summer. Wish me luck. It's a great goal. Something I'm buying, well, I just bought the coolest aromatherapy bracelet that allows me to sniff, sniff, sniff lavender to keep myself calm. And I bought a boom mic to use for this podcast. It's fun, it's low cast, and I'm coming in hot. Now I can sit up straighter and really use that diaphragm so my voice is strong and clear. And something I'm doing, well, I'm lovingly tending to my garden and grand Twinkies. 4 zucchinis, 8 tomatoes, and 2 cucumbers, and counting, and 2 grand Twinkies, and counting. This time around, I'm going to leave you the essential question has to do with, and I'm calling it essential question because I love how fancy that sounds. So here it is. Do you have a coping mechanism or 3 that's working for you? Maybe you journal, exercise, meditate, craft, build, clean, share your feelings with a trust partner, listen to music. Oh boy, I could just go on with this list. Or maybe you have a combo pack that's a surefire winner for you. Drop me a line via my contact page on my website at DianeDean-Epps-Writing.com and tell me about them. Or leave a comment right here if you feel comfy with public commenting. And just a gentle reminder, your self-care is your number one priority. Are you doing all the things? You know what they are. Drinking the water, electrolytes are important, getting sleep, Sharing your feelings. Uh-oh. Did I just lose you? The sharing the feelings part, was that like, okay, that's too much. I was fine at electrolytes. Just a few more. Are you prioritizing your happiness? Using the tools that lead you back to the path where you may have left your happy? If no one told you today, you're wonderful. Now, please go do something wonderful for yourself. Okay, my fabulous listeners, that's a wrap for this week. In my next episode of Bangs and Botox, I'm likely to talk about what really makes a good body. Ooh, intriguing, Diane. Or perhaps I'll decide to talk about what relationships look like for us active seniors. Or maybe some other topic will surface that speaks to me and in turn to you. So please do come back for more, because if you just don't know what burning questions and issues I'll take on next, right? It might be intriguing. Are you intrigued? Good. Well, burning is good just as long as I don't encounter some sort of burning rash, then I'm golden. Oh yeah, going out on a limb there. Here, tangent. Hello, phone call, line one. So if this episode resonated with you, made you laugh, created some moments of clarity, or that's my Scooby Doo, made you think, tell me. Tell me something good. Yeah, I no, I won't be singing in these episodes. While I do know this thing is on, as we refer to it, it's good to get a confirmation you're out there. You can find me on social media, Ms. Right Now Author on Insta, Ms. Right Now on Facebook, or use that contact form I mentioned earlier on my website, DianeDean-Epps Writing.com. Until our next coffee clutch, my podcast friend,